Hello and welcome back. So today we are going to talk or we are going to discuss about beneficial microbes or usage of microbes. Okay, a very simple topic from general microbiology and examples which I am going to discuss today. They are very easy to remember and you can relate with the examples. Okay, so let's. So we know that microorganisms are ubiquitous, which means they are present everywhere. So there are billions of microbes and lots more we haven't discovered yet. So some of them are useful to mankind while some are harmful to mankind. So microbes are useful for us in many ways in various parts of our daily day-to-day life. Okay, and these are some examples or these are some parts or sectors that we are going to discuss today. So mostly these microbes we can say they are necessary for our survival, then they are good for us and we can use them for our benefits in industry. Okay, we can isolate them, we can inoculate them, we can um, use them in fermentation. Okay, and to get our products, desired products out of them. So first we will study about in case of humans, which is the very first point that is necessary for our survival. So the surfaces of skin body inside and out, for example, skin, mouth and intestines, they are covered in millions of individual microorganisms. Okay, digesting breast milk is the first point where we are starting from say fetus. So some of the bacteria that first begin to grow inside baby's intestines are bifidobacteria. Okay, they are the one which help baby to digest the breast milk. So certain bacteria digest fiber, producing short chain fatty acid, which are important for gut health. The resident skin microbiota obstructs the development of opportunistic bacteria. How? There is um, competition for nutrients, okay, then for adhesion, and then for commensalization. Okay, so this is the condition where the bacterial interference it inhibits or it obstructs the development of pathogenic or opportunistic bacteria. Okay, then next is in case of agriculture or plant interaction, soil and plant interaction. So many microbes are found in nature which help plants to grow. First, the decomposition is the very essential process. How? Microbes are essential for the proper functioning of carbon cycle on earth. Okay, so for example here just imagine you are here considering a field where soil and plant interaction or crop interaction we are studying here. Okay, so the decomposition of the say agricultural waste or the manure which farmer is adding to the soil, microbes are going to properly function that, decompose that, and they are going to utilize or they are going to help plant utilize the carbon out of it. So that is the main important role of microbes. Next, importance in biogeochemical cycling. So what does that mean? A biogeochemical cycle is a pathway by which a chemical element such as carbon or nitrogen it circulates through a biotic and abiotic factors of ecosystem. So biotic is living factor and abiotic is non-living factor. Okay, so that is biogeochemical cycling, which means carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, then phosphate cycle, phosphorus cycle, etc. The next point is about symbiotic associations. We learn about rhizobium very first in first year, correct? So the symbiotic associations we have studied or we have found which are useful for plants as well as are of association of plant root with bacteria or fungi. Okay, so the symbiotic associations are useful for both the host and the parasite. Okay, or the another bacteria which is associated for the benefit. So in case of bacteria the example is rhizobium, and in case of fungi the example is of mycorrhiza. So a separate video on mycorrhiza is already uploaded on my channel. If you want to know more about mycorrhiza and how it helps plant to grow and how they help to get better yield is all described in that video. Okay, so do check it out. Then next is an endophyte is an endosymbiont, often a bacteria or fungi that lives within a plant, okay, for at least part of its life cycle without causing apparent diseases. Okay, so there are endophytes, which means that bacteria which live inside plant, okay, any part of the plant, for example stem. So these are the bacteria or fungi or fungus which improves the stress tolerance towards the say drought or the temperature or the water. Okay, so if there is any stress tolerance, then these endophytes will help plant to improve that. Okay, they improve the stress tolerance in plants. Not only just stress tolerance, even they help in the studies are still going on, but they also help in getting resistance towards pathogens. Okay, so because they produce some beneficial substances which help them to get resistance on pathogens. Okay, so examples here are mentioned for nitrogen fixation. Example is rhizobium, then azotobacter, then azospirillum. Then in case of carbon cycle, penicillium, aspergillus, streptomyces and pseudomonas. So streptomyces, pseudomonas are bacteria, while penicillium and aspergillus are fungi. Then in case of oxygen production, cyanobacteria or blue-green algae are the one, and the cells of these bacteria, they help in oxygen production. Okay, then next is phosphate solubilizers. Examples are pseudomonas, bacillus and aspergillus. Then in case of symbiotic association with plant roots, fungi is mycorrhiza, uh, genus is Glomus, and in case of bacteria, rhizobium. Okay. Then another sector is production of food. So microbes are a key component in both home and industrial food preparation. So in case of food preparation in home, you have examples like fermenting idli batter or dosa batter, or in case of curd, you find lactic acid bacteria. Okay, so that was for home food preparation. In case of industrial food preparation, let's see some examples on commercial scale. Okay, so lactic acid bacteria are used to make yogurt, cheese, sour cream, buttermilk and other fermented milk products. Okay, so examples are lactobacillus bulgaricus and streptococcus thermophilus, right? Then on commercial scale, if you want to produce vinegars, so they are or for this particular fermentation, acetic acid bacteria are used. Okay, so example is Acetobacter aceti. Then yeast, the example is Saccharomyces, is used in the manufacture of beer and wine and for leavening of breads. Okay, the soft and spongy texture of bread, you get it through the yeast. Okay, so it is also involved in fermentation to convert corn and other vegetable carbohydrates into ethanol to make beer, wine and gas oils. Okay, then there are even bacterias, the agents, they are also the agents of most of the other food fermentation. Okay, as I said, in case of home food preparation, the example I gave you was of idli batter, okay, a South Indian food. So in that case, bacteria which are associated are Leuconostoc mesenteroides, then Lactobacillus delbrueckii, then Lactobacillus fermentum, Lactobacillus lactis. Okay, and yeast which are associated are Saccharomyces cerevisiae and Pteridopsis candida. Okay, so another video especially on idli or dosa batter, the microbiology behind idli and dosa batter is already uploaded on my channel. Even a video just for curd, okay, microbiology behind curd is also uploaded on my channel. Okay, so do check it out. Then next, um, there are even enzymes that we obtain from bacteria or fungi. They have wide applications in industries. Okay, so here are some examples. So detergents, they contain proteases and lipases to help break down protein and fat stains. Enzymes are used to break down the starch in grains into biofuels that can be combusted. In the textile industry, enzymes help in the processing of fibers, for example, polishing the cloth to make it appear more shiny. In the brewing industry, enzymes they help in a number of processes including the clarification of beer. In case of medical and or medicine and biotechnology, enzymes are widely used in every thing from diagnostic test kits to contact lenses cleaners to cutting down DNA in genetic engineering. Okay, then enzymes are widely used in food industry. Example for uh, fruit juice, pectin to increase the juice yield from the fruit. Then fructose is used as sweetener and it is converted from glucose by isomerases. Okay, this is the example of enzyme here. Then rennin is used to help in cheese production. In paper production, uh, enzymes are used to get help in pulping of wood. Okay, so these are examples of enzymes that we actually obtain from bacteria or fungi. So here are some enzymes which are used in food industry. So in case of dairy production, you use rennet, lactase, protease and catalases. In case of brewing industry, you use beta glucanases, then alpha amylase, protease and amyloglucosidase. For baking, you use maltogenic amylases, then glucose oxidases and pentosinases. In case of wine and fruit juice industry, you use pectinases to get high juice yield from the fruit and beta glucanases. For meat industry, you use proteases and pepin. Okay, so try to list at least 4 to 5 examples. Then next is in case of medical or pharmaceutical or biotechnological applications. So certain microbes can help us in the fight against other microbes. How? So in human and veterinarian medicines that is used to prevent and treat infectious diseases. Microbes are a source of antibiotics and vaccines. So antibiotics are substances which are produced by microorganisms that kill or inhibit other microbes. Antibiotics are produced in nature by molds such as penicillium and bacteria such as Streptomyces and Bacillus. Vaccines are substances which are derived from microorganisms. For example, antigens of a particular microbe can be used to generate a vaccine. Okay, and they are used to immunize against disease. The microbes that are the cause of infectious disease are usually the ultimate source of vaccine. Even you use attenuated bacteria as a booster dose, as a vaccine, correct? Then just if you talk here about biotechnology, then microbiology makes a significant contribution to biotechnology. An area of science that applies microbial genetics to biological processes for the production of useful substances is biotechnology. So microorganisms they play a central role in recombinant DNA technology and genetic engineering. Example, production of recombinant insulin. E. coli is widely used for recombinant insulin production nowadays. Okay, so that is an example here. Okay, then important tools of biotechnology are microbial cells, microbial genes and microbial enzymes. Okay, then other benefits of microbes they are listed here. Okay, each and every example it is difficult to cover in just one video. Okay, so vaguely I had tried to mention to add some examples here. Okay, you can add if you know some other points or other examples which you think they are also important for formation of an answer. Okay, so other benefits are like they help purify wastewater in wastewater treatment facilities, correct? You use bacillus pseudomonas, then even you use some yeast and some fungi like aspergillus as well. So you can get some examples if you study wastewater treatment. If you want examples for that, you can search out and you can add for wastewater treatment example. Then microbial pigment. So Serratia and Rhodotorula species, they are well known for their pigments. And these pigments, they have medical applications as well as food industry applications. Okay, so some of these pigments, they have antibacterial property or antiviral property, and that is why the pigments are also used in medical applications. And in case of food industry, to um, to use in particular food item as a organic uh, pigment or food coloring dye. Okay, it is nowadays alternative which is in demand. Okay, then next is bioremediation. So Aspergillus niger, Pseudomonas, Bacillus, Citrobacter are examples of some bacteria and fungi which are highly used in bioremediation. Okay, so separate video is uploaded on bioremediation, then even on microbial pigments, then for biopesticides, bioleaching. Okay, so that is why these points I had not described, so I had just given examples here. So you can check out my videos on channel if you want more information regarding these points. Okay, so next is about biopesticides. So Bacillus thuringiensis, in short we write it as, or we call it as BT. Okay, BT cotton, BT brinjal. So what does that mean? That Bacillus thuringiensis, a biopesticide, is used while getting that yield. Okay, so Bacillus thuringiensis is most famous and still widely used biopesticide. Then in case of bioleaching, microbes are also useful in process of bioleaching. Examples: Pseudomonas, Penicillium, Sulfolobus, and Bacillus. Okay, so if you don't know what this process is or what this term bioleaching means, then do check it out on my channel. You will get a video separately on bioleaching. In food industry, pullulan is used as a coating agent in food formulations and packing industry. So pullulan is a polysaccharide which is obtained from fungi, Aerobasidium pullulans. Okay, then next is bacteria. Certain type of bacteria can actually clean up troublesome environmental pollutants like spilled petroleum. Okay, so in oceans, when there is a oil spill, then some bacteria which are present in that natural environment, they start eating it up. Okay, so alkal alcanivorax is example of a bacteria which helps in um, clearing a pollutant, or pollutant or pollution. Okay, then last is very important that we use in PCR. So thermostable enzyme, that is Taq polymerases, is obtained from Thermus aquaticus and it is widely used in PCR reactions. Okay, so you can see these are some vague points, and these are all beneficial examples. These are all benefits of microbes or usage of microbes in our day-to-day life. Okay, so if you want more examples, you can watch my other videos. You will get examples more for bioremediation, then microbial pigments, then biopesticides, bioleaching, etc. Okay, so I hope I had covered this topic very well, and like, share and subscribe to my channel, and do check out my other videos for more information, and do recommend my videos to your friends as well. Thank you for watching. Till then, bye bye.